Hello everyone, I'm Jiva Shelsi from Manariam Institute of Technology. In this presentation, we are going to see about week 4 topics that we learned in Allison course. Okay, let's get into it. The main objective of this presentation is to discuss the history of ISO 9001 revision, explain what companies should do with change, clarity, and describe common misconception about revision, examine and manage the context of an organization, explain process approach, list each phase of the plan, do, check, and act cycle, and define risk-based thinking. Next, the history of ISO 9001 revisions. The first version of ISO 9000 was published in 1987. It was also influenced by defense military standards. Then the second version of ISO 9000 is to 1994 was published in 1994. This version stressed quality assurance through preventative action. The third version was published in 2000 as ISO 9001 is to 2000. This version radically changed thinking as it held the belief that process management should be the core of the standard. Next fundamental concept in ISO 9001 is to 2015. It includes process approach, PDCA model, that means plan, do, check, and act cycle. Next, risk-based thinking. Next, certification process. Certification audits are actually conducted in two stages. Stage one audit is readiness review audit to prove that the organization is prepared for certification. Stage two audit is an assessment of implementation along with the effectiveness and performance evaluation of the management system of the organization. And this stage where the certification is awarded. Next, surveillance audits, or it is conducted to prove that the management system maintains the fulfillment against requirement of standard, and also conducted to observe the continual improvement of the management system. Next, recertification audit. It was done after 3 years to endorse the effectiveness of the management system as whole. So the certificate is then reissued for next 3 years. Next, process approach and PDCA cycle. A process is usually defined as reproducible, interacting activities that together convert an input into an output. Uh, how is the procedure or work institution that explain how the process will be carried out and describe that entity is responsible for the process. And next, when to use plan, do, check, act cycle. So PDCA cycle should be used in this following cases. When opting for continuous improvement, when initiating a new improvement project, when making a new or modified design of a process, product, or service, when defining a repetitive work process, when preparing data collection and analyze as to verify and periodize problems or root causes, and when applying any change. Next, context of organization and risk-based thinking. In that, we have class 4 of ISO 9001 is to 2015. It states that the organization to assess itself in regards to the organization. Next, organization needs to study the influence of various elements on the organization, how elements reflect on the quality management system, risk and opportunities regarding the business. Internal context of an organization. An organization internal context is the environment in which it aims to achieve the objectives. So the things that we need to consider while analyzing the internal context are cultural beliefs, values, principle inside the organization, complexity of process and organizational structures. What is an external context of an organization? An organization external context is the environment which influences the organization. For example, environmental, social, ethical, legal, and all those things. Next, class 4 context of an organization. In that we have 4 subclasses: class 4.1, class 4.2, for class 4.3, class 4.4. Class 4.1 is for comprehend organization and its unique context. Class 4.2 is to clarify the needs and expectation of interested parties related to organization. Class 4.3 define the scope of organization quality management system, and class 4.4 develop a quality management system and establish documented information. Then next, class 5 is for leadership. The first subclass on leadership is class 5.1, which is focused on provide leadership by focusing on quality and customers. Then class 6 is for planning. The first subclass is 6.1, which is on defining action and measures to control risk and capitalize opportunities. In that we have, in subclass we have another one subclass too. So class 6.1, consider risk and opportunities when you plan your quality management system. And class 6.1.2, plan how you are going to manage risk and opportunities. Next, class 7 is for support. The first subclass of 7.1 is about supporting organization quality management system by offering the record resources. There are 6 subclasses within the class 7.1. So the 2 subclasses within the subclasses, class 7.1 offer internal and external resources for company QMS. Class 7.1.2 provide relevant people for QMS and its process. Then class 8 for operation. The first class 8.1 is related to development, implementation, and control of QMS operational process. And class 9 is for evaluation. The first class is related to monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation. Class in that we have subclasses too. Class 9 is further divided into different subclasses. Class 9.1.1 plan how to monitor, measure, analyze, and evaluate. Class 9.1.2 find out how well customer needs and expectations are being fulfilled. And class 9.1.3 evaluate and access performance, effectiveness, conformity, and satisfaction. Next, class 10 is for improvement. The first class on improvement is related to the determination of improvement opportunities and making improvements. Next, these are the essential elements of quality management system. So the standard mandates that complying organization must recognizes the knowledge areas that are necessary for the effective operation of process and the conformity of product or service. So to maintain this knowledge and keep it accessible wherever it necessary, and to attain required knowledge if it necessary. Next, it is a continuous part. Knowledge is often lost in information if information is not analyzed or worked upon. And also knowledge should be considered as an important source. Some types of knowledge are tactic, implicit, procedural, declarative, and strategic. Next, this is also continuation. There are the type of audits are product audit, process audit, and management system audit. Internal audit against ISO 9001 is to 2015 is a management system audit. And that's all about my presentation for week 4. Thank you.